call the meeting to order, the monthly Anderson County Budget Committee meeting, December 10, 2020 at 4 p.m. Rob, if you would call the roll, please.
Okay, Chuck Fritz. Commissioner Denenberg.
Here.
Commissioner Smallridge.
Yes, here.
Commissioner Creasy.
Creasy here.
Commissioner Waddell. Commissioner Jameson. Commissioner White. And Commissioner Val.
Here.
So I have Commissioner Fritz absent.
All right. If we would all stand for a moment, please, for our prayer, and then I'll ask Commissioner Waddell if he'd be so gracious as to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for all your many blessings, for saving our soul, Lord, for hearing our prayers, for always being with us. Please forgive us of sin, Father. Strengthen us, Lord, to keep our eyes on you. Be with us today in this meeting, Father. Be with our hearts, our minds, Lord, to do more what you would have us to do to benefit the people of our county. All this we ask in Jesus' holy name. Amen. Thank you, Commissioners. I know that's kind of awkward doing it virtually, but I feel it's an important part of our meetings. Rob, if you would, go ahead, please. Item number 1 on the agenda, the cash and fund balance report.
Okay. Restricted funds are at $1,008,175. Committed funds, $2,165,498. Assigned funds are $2,019,148. Unassigned fund balance is $6,137,307. Total fund balance is $11,330,128, and cash is $9,072,964. So, any questions on the cash and fund balance report?
It sounds, just a quick, sounds like that Spurs continue to be in pretty good shape. Is that a fair statement, Robbie?
Yes, sir. As you can see on that the general fund cash trends, our cash lines, the orange line's above. So, I mean, our cash is up almost $1 million from last year at this time. But yes, I think we're continuing to do really well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and our sales tax in October, the county as a whole, total $3,546,328 was up 19%. The county, we collected $538,286, which was up last year. In October, we collected $246,816. That's almost 118% up. So we've already collected 65% of our goal of $820,000. So sales tax still continues to look really good for Anderson County. So that's a good thing.
Any further questions for Robbie? All right. Robbie, continue, please.
Okay, on the consent agenda is 0 through 5. I do need to move number 4 to number 34, behind number 34, because it should have been a transfer with a major line item, and I didn't catch that. So I apologize, but I need to move number 4 to the back of the list. So it's 0 through 5 minus 4.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Commissioner Smallridge makes the motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Denenberg. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay. Commissioner Denenberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Smallridge.
Yes.
Commissioner Creasy.
Yes.
Commissioner Val.
Yes.
Commissioner Waddell. Commissioner Jameson. And Commissioner White. Okay, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. It says it's up 19%. Now, where did you get the 19%?
Year and last October, it was 2,968,256.
I
So
got you. Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
almost $600,000, dollar increase. Okay, Commissioner Val, Chairman Val, the next 6 through 21 are all from the school department transfers and appropriations. Happy to answer any questions, and Dr. Parrott's online also.
Any questions, or do we have a motion?
Motion to accept.
I have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Denenberg to accept. Commissioner Denenberg, is that all together?
That is correct, and I just want to make a note, Robbie, I just found page 2 of what I had called you about the other day.
Good deal. We just
Do we have a
approved that.
second on the motion?
I'll second.
We have a second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? I believe Dr. Parrott may want to comment on the motion.
Tracy here.
I apologize. I had a board member walk into my office just then. So what do I need to comment on?
I think Commissioner Creasy, do you have a question for him, sir?
Yeah, the motion, what are we voting on? I think
I
I'm,
believe it's
I think
6
I'm
through 21.
All the school amendments 6 through 21
Yes.
on all of them at one time.
as a group.
Yes, sir. That was the motion.
Hold on a minute. It seemed like I had a question on one. Can you stand by a moment?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Just a second. I'm looking through them. There's 1 through, what number?
6 through 21.
Yeah, it's quite a few. Just stand by a minute.
Okay.
Yes, on item 13. Are you there on 13?
Yes, sir.
My question was, what are the savings?
Okay, you're talking about on our phone system. When we went to our phone system from AT&T to Comcast, it was almost a 60% savings on that. And what is great about that is our schools really and truly, they had to, our long distance, AT&T really killed us on long distance. And our schools sometimes, because parents, when they move places now, they don't change their phones. So we have a lot of parents that have out-of-state phone numbers. So we were being charged at some point, like at Anderson County High School, their long distance bill might be $2,500. And so now there is no long distance charges at all on when we went from AT&T to the ENA and Comcast.
Do you have an annual savings on hand immediate, or is that something you can get to us later?
I will get that to you. I think and I'd have to look at my budget. I'm thinking it's somewhere around $60,000 to $70,000 we'll be able to save because from our savings from this, we've been able to put new phone systems in a lot of our schools. We just put a new phone system in Norwood Elementary School this week. They're finishing up a whole new phone system at Briceville tomorrow. So that's where we've looked at. There won't be a lot of savings this year because we've updated all of our phone systems. But I'll get you that overall, Mr. Creasy.
Thank you very much. Now, you covered that one, and I have one more because I went from the back to the front looking at these. Number 12, the one just before that. This is on the background checks.
Yes. Yes,
And are they going to be done by the court clerk?
No, these have to be done they have to be done fingerprinted out of Oak Ridge. The FBI has to do these. We hope that they get that right now, but they're not able to do that background check that we're required to do. But we would love for the clerk to take over those. We're required now, they passed a new law last year, and we're required to have a background check every 5 years now. So it's going to be, we've already had money in there, but we've got to get about 400 people done by the end of the fiscal year this year.
And what is the cost if I divide 400 into that figure? I come up with $60 per person. Is that?
Yeah, that's the ones we have to do that are just for 5 years and over. But every time we hire a new person, we have to do so. I think they're about $38 a piece is what I think they are, between $35 and $38. There's some places that charge a little less and some charge a little more. There's a new place opened up in Oak Ridge that we're using right now, and they're in that ISG insurance building.
That sounds pretty reasonable as compared to what we're charging through the court clerk's office.
Yep.
All right, thank you. That's my questions. Thank you very much.
Hey, if I could, just on one of them, I figured you might have an answer on the, and I don't know which one it is. Hold on and I'll tell you. There's a letter behind one of them, and I wanted to kind of tell you why I did that. That was on 21. And one of the things I've tried over the last 4 years is I like all the salaries to be consistent with each other. And we had 2 new directors that came on last year. As you know, Jim retired in January, and then Frank Hill, and he retired about March, and we just didn't get those things done. And I wanted to make sure, I want to take the personality out of everything we do. And the reason I say that is if you get somebody on a special pay scale, well, as director of schools, I could not give them a raise, or I could give them way too much raise. And by doing this, all of our directors now are on a set pay scale that is approved by our school board. So we're trying to do those things to make everybody consistent.
Thank you, Dr. Parent. I did have a question on that one, but I didn't bring it up because I figure I'd delay the meeting, and thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Dr. Parrott, Commissioner Creasy. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Robbie, if you would, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Denenberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Val,
Aye.
Commissioner Waddell, Commissioner Jameson, and Commissioner White. Okay. The next 2 are from the county clerk, number 22 and 23, both increasing revenue and increasing a expenditure code, $1,200 and $400.
Do we hear a motion?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Smallridge moves for approval. Do we hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Waddell, I believe it was. Any discussion? Hearing none. Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Val,
Aye.
Waddell, Jameson, and White. Okay, thank you. All right, number 24 is an appropriation from the library, decreasing committed funds $2,000 and increasing building repair and maintenance $2,000. We're having some electrical issues at Rocky Top Library.
Do we have a motion?
Move for approval.
Mike,
Commissioner
I'll-
Smallridge moves for approval, and who was it the second? I'm sorry?
Creasy.
Commissioner Creasy, second. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
All right, Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Val,
Aye.
Commissioner Waddell, Commissioner Jameson, and Commissioner White. All right, the next appropriation is from tourism, $40,000. They're increasing revenue from a state grant, $20,000. They have to match it $20,000, so they're decreasing advertising to get the $20,000 for the match and increasing advertising with a cost center of $2,000 for $40,000.
Do we have a
Motion
motion?
to approve.
Commissioner Denenberg moves to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Creasy, was it, or Commissioner Jameson?
Jameson.
Jameson. Commissioner Jameson seconds. Any discussion?
One question. for
Commissioner
Stephanie.
Creasy.
Yes, one question for Stephanie. Is that 20,000 a lot of money to come up with at one time? Is that going to put any kind of strain on your budget?
Well, actually, Commissioner Creasy, we moved that from fund balance last month. We just didn't know that we had the grant. And so we're not really taking on any projects. It'll be to do the website and some additional advertising. But we are moving it to a cost center because we got the news about the grant just a couple of weeks ago.
So you're feeling pretty good about your budget then?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to do this on my phone and a call was trying to come through. I'm sorry. So what was your question again, Mr. Creasy?
Is that going to put a strain on your budget?
No, I think I've been very kind of frugal with our budget over the last 20 years, very conservative, and we have a healthy fund balance. So our revenues are down because of COVID, but I do feel that we have a healthy fund balance. And if there's any time that we should be doing more advertising, it's now, because a lot of people are doing a lot of outdoor recreation and, doing things that our area has to offer. So I think we need to get the information out about our area so that we can attract them. So I feel like it's important for our local tourism industry that we do more advertising. And so I'm willing to use some of our fund balance to do that. So I feel like it's a great investment, that it's not going to put a strain on our budget.
Thank you, Stephanie. That's an excellent response. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
I just wanted to ask initially that you're decreasing advertising and putting that money into the state grant. Will that give you the flexibility in the state grant to do some of the same kinds of things you would have done otherwise?
Absolutely. Our activity is not going to change. Our plan is not going to change. It's just moving the money. And if you notice, it's putting it from our advertising to an advertising cost center. So it's just to track it a little bit better. And so that we do know that all the dollars that are matched, that need to be matched with the grant are there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Val,
Aye.
Commissioner Waddell, Jameson, and White. Thank you. All right, the next two are from the Highway Department. The first one is an appropriation decreasing restricted for highway 500,000 and increasing asphalt 500,000. And the other one is, the second one is increasing local option sales tax 40,000 and increasing highway and bridge maintenance asphalt.
I'll make a motion.
40,000.
Second.
Got a motion on the floor by Commissioner Waddell to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Smallridge seconds. Any discussion?
Yes, Creasy. Is Mr. Long available in the room?
Gary, you on there?
Well, Robbie can answer my question. I was just curious what the total asphalt budget was for the year.
I can answer that. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I thought you could. Thank you.
In the budget, it's 350,000, but last year they amended it to 1.6 million. So as I think money comes in from the state, they increase their asphalt budget. So it starts out kind of low, but they do continue to increase throughout the year.
Thank you, Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
So Robbie, is that an increase in asphalt and paving? I mean, that kind of together?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Any further discussion? If not, Robbie, if you would call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Val,
Aye.
Commissioner Waddell, Commissioner Jameson, and Commissioner White. All right. Next, budget amendment is from EMS, and it's appropriation to decrease fund balance, 104,484.30, and increasing motor vehicle, 104,484.30. Last year, though, they got an insurance recovery check for this amount, and it rolled into fund balances, which is the reason they're decreasing their fund balance, because it crossed fiscal years. So I think they wrecked an ambulance and they decided to purchase it back, because I'm assuming it was a newer ambulance, and they're getting it remounted. And
Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion, Creasy.
Commissioner
I'll
Creasy
second.
makes a motion to approve. Commissioner Denenberg, I believe it was, a second motion.
Correct.
Any discussion?
Creasy, I'd like to applaud Nathan Sweet for his work on getting that, saving us some money there by refurbishing the old wrecked vehicle.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Denenberg.
That's okay. I was just going to ask Nathan if he was on the call, if there was any information he wanted to add to what's already been said.
Director Sweet, you want, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So put the description down there. It is a newer unit, very low miles, and the damage was primarily to the chassis, minor damage to the box. So we're able to take that box, put it on a brand new chassis. There's even some better benefits beyond this. I think we got around $117,000 from insurance. We're spending $104,000 to replace all of the equipment. That being said, we're keeping the chassis. There's nothing wrong with the engine in this chassis. So we have that we have the engine of that to use in the future should we have any issues with one of our other gas engines. So we're actually saving quite a bit of money on this and getting basically a brand new ambulance that will last us even longer. So it unfortunate accident and wish it didn't happen, but the way it did happen and way we're able to recover from it, we're really going to benefit off of that kind of long term.
Thank you, Director Sweet. Any further discussion?
I do
Director
have a
Sweet.
question.
Go ahead, Catherine.
Nathan, where will extra parts be kept until needed?
Much like it is right now, it's kept on site here, actually really close to the impound lot for the sheriff's department. So more than likely, we'll keep it there, or potentially up at our Andersonville station if we have to move it. But more than likely, it'll be kept here by the impound lot, by the jail and EMS headquarters.
And that's not going to cause any deterioration from just sitting?
We'll have to go out and run it, maintain it for a period of time, but that may be something we discuss with John Vickery in the motor pool. And if he decides, hey, it'd be better for us to go ahead and pull that engine and store it inside, then we'll do that as well.
That makes sense. Thank you, sir.
Any further discussion? Nathan, is this one of the newer ambulances that we got like last year or year before last?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Stand by just one, Nathan. Robbie, last month when we talked about EMS's fund balance, if I remember right, was it up around 900,000?
It's
Am I right?
849,047, 849,000.
So with today's passing of this one, we would need to subtract 104 from that?
That's correct.
Okay. So going by my arithmetic, we're down around 749, 748 something.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Smallridge,
Aye.
Creasy,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Waddell, Jameson, White. Okay, the next budget amendment is from the Election Commission. It's appropriation for additional CARES Act funds for $37,964. They're increasing revenue, that amount, and they're increasing core payroll codes and data processing, printing, other contracted services, and office supplies.
Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Commissioner Creasy moves to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Val,
Aye.
Commissioner Waddell, Commissioner Jameson, and Commissioner White. Okay. The next three are from the Health Department. All three are appropriations from restricted funds for grant money that had been moved from their code to restricted. And then he and Mr. Turner is moving him back to a code to spend $1674.97 to micro, $1984.08 to PPI, and $9,658.71 to tobacco grant. Seeking approval as a group, or I can answer any questions.
We have a motion or a question? I'm sorry, who was that?
I move for approval as a group.
Commissioner Smallridge moves to approve as a group. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Waddell. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Smallridge,
Aye.
Creasy,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Waddell, Jameson, and White. Okay, number 33 is from the mayor and solid waste. It's increasing 101-911-90715 other general government projects land $100,000 and decreasing 101-34685-1000 committed for future land purchase $100,000. It's to purchase property located at 2520 East Wolf Valley Road, Clinton, to use as the convenience center to meet increased volume, provide for recycling, increase efficiency, as well as to provide improve safety and site conditions.
Do we have a motion?
Move for approval?
Commissioner Smallridge moves for approval. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Denenberg. Any discussion? Mayor Frank, did you want to comment on this?
I'll just note too that the contract last month you all approved at the full commission level, moving forward with the purchase, and we did distribute that appraisal to you all. And the contract is actually going on the purchasing committee, so that will be heard on Monday.
All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, if you would, call the roll, please.
Okay, Denenberg,
Hindenburg, yes.
Smallridge,
Aye.
Creasy,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Waddell, Jameson, and White. Okay. The next one also is, it's the department's planning. It's also from the mayor. It's increasing local option sales tax, $85,000, and increasing 101-51-720-399 Park planning and contracted services, $85,000. It's a professional service agreement with Los Design for a comprehensive parks and recreation master plan. Eligibility for any park, trail, or recreational grant through Tennessee now requires the county or municipality to have a comprehensive parks plan. Anderson County has never performed such a comprehensive plan. This proposal includes site visit, meeting with officials, public participation, community input, inventory of existing facilities and programs, community needs assessment, draft plan recommendations, and final comprehensive parks and recreation master plan. For grant purposes, a comprehensive parks plan has a 5-year lifespan. Once the first master plan is created, future updates will be less work intensive. Plan also benefits our municipalities. No.
Do we have a motion?
I'll move for
Commissioner
approval.
Smallridge makes motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second for discussion.
Commissioner Denenberg seconds. Any discussion? Who wants to be first?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. This 85,000, is that for front end for developing the plan?
Yes, sir. So it's broken down into several tasks. So the first task is they do a project kickoff steering committee. They hold kickoff meetings with all the appointed and elected officials, and this includes the municipalities. They conduct workshops. They do monthly briefings and correspondence with the steering committee. They conduct site assessments for existing recreation facilities in the participating communities. Then they prepare written observations and recommendations. Then the next task, so that is 12,500. Then task 2 is the public participation aspect. And what they do there is they advertise initial input, community meetings. They do use a variety of outreach methods. They conduct the community meetings in order to solicit input in recreation priorities. And this isn't just parks, it's also trails and greenways. Then they develop a web-based survey to collect input from the residents and the stakeholders as well in the planning area. They present the initial findings in a community meeting format. Then the next task is that is 18,500. Then task 3 is 9,000. That is an inventory of all the existing facilities and programs. And they approach it, they begin in task 1, and then they continue through the public engagement process. The team develops an inventory, and then each park is visited and assessed for amenities, safety, maintenance, and also compliance with ADA, which I know Commissioner Creasy and Ms. McCowan have done a lot of that, but this would be placed in the plan itself. Then the next task is a community needs assessment. This is where they develop mapping They perform a gap analysis, they complete a demographic analysis, and then they evaluate the community engagement and survey results. And then this leads to the draft recreation plan, which is task number 5. Then that involves, I don't know if you want me to read all of this, but a report is developed that documents the entire public engagement process, provides the facility and program inventories, provides the gap analysis and park assessments for existing facilities, along with opinions of probable costs for any improvements. Then a demographic profile is developed to assist the determination of the system deficiencies that may require land acquisition, new park development, shared use agreements, any kind of related needs for improved recreation opportunities. And then they make budgetary recommendations based on the national industry data. Then the final task is the final comprehensive parks plan. And I did, in my letter that I put in your agenda pack, I did note this was 5 years, but the plan itself that will be created will actually be a 10-year plan. But for grant purposes, TDEC only recognizes a 5 years. So what we'll do is in 5 years, we'll just maybe have to brush a couple of things off in terms of, you know, what we've accomplished and if there's any new needs that have developed. So, but this will carry us through for 10 years, and that's what the proposal is based on. The other thing is it's now a requirement, and as an example, I received a notice, I don't even know, it might have been the schools submitted a grant for a recreation grant application, and it was kicked back from the state, and Randy in the finance office was actually notified. This is just an example. Someone submitted it, and basically they said, you do not have, I'll read their note here. It says, dear applying organization, we have reviewed the submitted pre-application and note that a parks and recreation system-wide master plan meeting minimum requirements was not provided. And then they walk you through how, as part of their workshops and PowerPoints and applications, they've made it clear that this is a requirement now. So I know it is a big cost. I recognize that, but it benefits the entire county and the municipalities. Oak Ridge, they did just come out of the, they worked with DOE and the contractors there. They just came out with an assessment and an inventory and an assessment and a plan, and then they did the blueprint. But I did reach out to Mark Watson about incorporating what they have done into our master plan. So he's reviewing this, and they do want to be a part of it, but they would not be a part of what they've already accomplished in terms of those community meetings and the blueprint work that they did where they engaged the community already. But it would still, their work would still go in, and Mark wants to control what goes into the master plan. So we're still working on that. But it does have the support of the municipalities as well. Scott Hackler, in talking with his folks in the city, he would like to do a little bit of connection, a little bit more, which they're willing to do themselves. But if we could incorporate it into the plan for the work they do with Norris Dam State Park, that also covers Campbell County and Anderson County. And so I've reached out to Lowe's about also if we can incorporate that in there. But I don't know if you have any more, if I answered everything on that.
Commissioner Smallridge, please muted.
Excellent report, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor Frank?
Commissioner Smallridge, you're still muted.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
So the 85,000 really goes to loose design for the development of the plan. Is that correct?
Yes, it's a multi-stage, it will take a long time. It will probably be 6, 8 months, maybe even longer, because there's a lot of different tasks that are performed along the way.
And, okay, well, I'm trying to think of my other question and I can't remember it. So I know, was there an RFP? I mean, was Loose Design the only one that put in a proposal, or did we have an RFP for development of a plan?
No, I just reached out to them because they have been helping on a Lost Bottom Park project, and they just did a comprehensive plan for Ray County. And then Catherine Baldwin, who works with Lowe's, she actually helps serve on the TPO and helps represents, the interests for the county and the road project. So to me, it just seemed it's a professional service. It doesn't require a bid process, but this is a competitive proposal.
I'll be quiet. I have a couple more questions, but let me give somebody else a chance.
Commissioner Denenberg, I think you're next.
I just have a quick question. Mayor Frank, what kind of trail construction, rehabilitation, what types of trails are these? Walking trails or RV trails? Or is it a combination?
Okay, so for a comprehensive plan, what TDEC and really what you want to see as a community. So for instance, in Anderson County, we have never engaged in a benchmarking process where we, we look at what we have and then we benchmark, like where are we trying to go? And the state rewards you for that. So they have a lot of grants. They will partner with you because they want to see you do either parks, facilities, trails. There's a lot of funding for that, but they want to see that you know where you're going, so to speak. So a comprehensive plan documents your assets, your inventory, documents your deficiencies, and then also looks at what the community wants, and whether that's your municipalities, whether that's your county commissioners, your conservation board, or the community at large. They're engaging all of the above to see what would we like in the community. So for instance, it may be walking trails that folks want more of. It may be bicycle paths. It may be splash pad. It's a lot of that's dependent on where the stakeholders, the elected officials and the community would like to see. And then they also identify perhaps what are some of the needs, where do you have gaps in the community for what a normal count, what a lot of counties or cities normally have in terms of recreation. It could be, for instance, a launch for kayaking, and that's what they're looking at. And then when you have that plan on paper, and then you go to ask for some construction assistance, you're able, this is why the state it's making it mandatory now. You're able to show, yes, we planned for it. And they have really done the same thing. And Jeff is on here. He can talk about this as well with solid waste. They require us, they will not fund any kind of grant dollars for solid waste. Like we got some grant funding for Green Valley to put new concrete there. The only way we got that was we identified in our report, we identified a plan of action of what we would like to see in the future. And that's really what this is about. And so it's one of those where you have to spend money to make money or to get money, in other words, but it also benefits your community in laying that path forward out there.
Oh, I understand that, and I absolutely think that this would be a large benefit to all of Anderson County, and perhaps if we can identify more parks and recreational facilities in some of the smaller communities, it might, in fact, in my opinion, would probably benefit growth in those areas.
Yes, yes, I
So
agree.
I'm total support. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I'll just add that I contacted our city manager today in Rocky Top, and he backed up pretty much everything the mayor just explained, that it'd be a big benefit to that municipality in the north end of the county. So I'll be supporting this as well. Any more discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, you listed several agencies where we possibly could get grants under this plan. Is that correct? And
Yes, sir.
those, my understanding is those would be 50-50 sharing. Is that correct?
Well, it just depends. A lot of them have different match requirements. So there's a local parks and recreation fund. There's a land and water conservation fund, recreational trails fund. They vary. And I just know from my work on TDOT, there are some that can be 5%, local match or 10% local match, because there's also with TDOT, there is a requirement to allocate so many dollars to things like greenways, recreational trails. So we think about gas tax dollars or federal highway dollars all going to roads. There's actually a requirement, and I can't remember what that current number is, but 25%. So they're looking for projects too. But I can't say that all of those are 50-50. I think it all varies.
I just wanted to comment that, I live on right off Emory Valley Road, and we have a beautiful path that I use almost every morning, walking my dog. And so I think it's, as Catherine said, I think it's a great plus to have a plan and a program like this. So.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Val,
Aye.
Commissioner Waddell, Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner White. Okay, number 35 we no longer need that appropriation because we did the $100,000 for the purchasing the land earlier. And then the last one I have is number 4, which we moved into past at the end. Yeah, under new business. But number 4 is a transfer major line item. It's increasing capital projects 171, 911, 90724, other general government projects, site development 26,700, and decreasing 171, 911, 10799, general administration projects, other capital outlay 26,700. It's just the money that will be needed for the engineering design services for the new convenience center at East Wolf Valley.
Move to approve.
Got a motion to approve by Commissioner Denenberg. Do we have a second?
Second, Creasy.
Second by Commissioner Creasy. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye, I've got to light candles here. Let's go.
Smallridge,
Aye.
Creasy,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Waddell, Jameson, and White. Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Val, under new business, I do have one more. It's the Juvenile Court Safe Baby Court Grant. I emailed everybody just earlier today. It's increasing revenue $100,000 and increasing, it's actually putting their budget on the books for the same amount of $100,000 of 2 payroll codes and benefits, plus dues and membership, travel, other contracted services. We received this grant in federal year 1920, and this amendment puts it on place for the federal year 2021.
I think Commissioner Denenberg makes a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Val,
Aye.
Commissioner Waddell, Jameson, and White. Okay, that's all I have.
Anything under old business, commissioners?
I did have one thing I wanted to mention, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I received from our County Mayors Association, as you know, when the legislation changed for sales tax and how it was collected, the County Mayors Association sent out a memo and a tabulation of how the various counties have done. So their data is from November of 2019 to October of 2020. And Anderson County is tied for third for largest growth in that period of time. So Humphreys County had the most growth at 407%, Smith County at 122%, Anderson County 96%, and Carroll County 96%. Then the next one is Lewis County at 82%. But our growth was $2,347,433 in that time period. So that is a something to be proud of. And if you look at Knox County, for instance, theirs they grew by 19%. That's a lot of money. That's $9 million. But and then Blount County grew by 1.5 million for 16%. So you can see how well we have really done. I don't know who's shopping out there, but
My wife, for one.
but that's huge. That's huge.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. Good news. Anything else? Folks, I appreciate your all's patience with me tonight. It's the first time I've chaired one of these from home. It was an experience. If I missed anybody, I apologize. We'll try to get better on this in the future. Nothing else to be said.
You did a good job.
Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you. We are adjourned.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
This conference is no longer being recorded.